Hi, good morning, children. Today, in our fourth class, we shall start the first chapter, measurement. What is our chapter? Measurement. So ये चैप्टर पढ़ेंगे हम क्लास फोर्थ का. Okay. Have you ever noticed that your parents buy vegetables in kgs? Have you went along with your parents? Did they buy vegetables? In what way they are buying vegetables? In what form? In what is the measurement there? Tomatoes. In order to buy the tomatoes, what they will do? They will take, the mother will give you 10 rupees and ask you to bring tomatoes. What will you do? You will go to the shop, right? You will go to the shop and ask for tomatoes. How you are going to ask? I need 1 kg tomato, half kg tomato, 2 kgs tomato, kg, kilogram, okay, of tomatoes in kgs. Milk, similarly, you are going to buy the milk. How much milk you buy? Either it is half liter. See, the unit has been changed there. In order to buy the tomatoes, the unit is kg. In order to buy the milk, the unit is liter. And the cloth piece, suppose you want to stitch some shirt for you. Will you measure the cloth piece in liters or kgs? No. So how you are going to measure? It is measured in meters. Have you ever wondered why we have different measuring units for different objects? See, टोमेटो परचेज करने के लिए किलोस में परचेज कर रहा है, मिल्क परचेज करने के लिए लीटर्स में, और क्लॉथ पीस परचेज करने के लिए मीटर्स में कर रहा है. See, why we are using such different kinds of units? Why can't we go for only one unit for all those things? Is it possible? We will learn in this chapter. Okay, which material should be measured with which unit? What will be the quantity? How we should measure? Okay, in order to measure time, will we measure it in kgs? No. So likewise, we will learn one by one. See now. In this chapter, we will learn about some aspects of measurements. So now measurement. We measure various things in our daily life. For example, the quantity of vegetables, fruits, using a balance. Here we are using what? Weighing balance. Balance we are going to use in order to measure fruits and vegetables in terms of kgs. 1 kg, 2 kg, half kg, like that. Half kg means 500 grams. We will learn one by one. Next, the length of cloth using a measuring tape. In order to measure the length of cloth, what we are going to use? We are using measuring tape. Time. In order to measure the time, what we need? Clock. We need clock. And body temperature. In order to measure the body temperature, हम डॉक्टर के पास जाते हैं, हमको फीवर, थोड़ा फीवर रहता है. Okay, so if you have fever, we will go to the doctor and ask him. What we will ask him? He will keep the thermometer in our mouth, right? So, in order to measure body temperature, what we require? Thermometer. Therefore, we can say that measurement plays a very important role in our life. So, in order to do anything, in order to purchase anything, we need some sort of measurement. So, measurement plays a very big role in our day-to-day life. Okay. Measurement can be defined as the process of determining size, weight, length, capacity of something. Measurement will give you size of something, some material, weight of some material, length of some material, and capacity. Capacity generally measured in terms of liters. Okay, so of some material. We can measure anything. We can measure anything with the help of approximate measurement tools and instruments. We need approximate and appropriate. Appropriate tools are necessary in order to measure anything. Okay. So, measuring tells us the following things about an object or group of objects. What the measuring tells us? What will give you, what idea will give you the measuring? Okay, about an object or group of objects. We shall see now. How big or how small an object is. We can compare two objects. Which is bigger? and which is smaller one. Next, how long and how short? How long and how short, that can be measured. Next, how light and how heavy it is. How light means weightless. Light in the sense weightless. How weightless and how weight. In order to measure that, we need some sort of balance. Next, how much is the quantity of an object? If you have 2 to 3 objects separately to a rice of 2 cups, 2 cups, 2 cups or 3 cups separately, so in that how much quantity of rice we have to measure, we need some sort of balance. Next, the number of objects, in order to count, we need some sort of measurement. Likewise, we are going to discuss regarding the measurement in this chapter. मेजरमेंट को हिंदी में माप कहते हैं and in Telugu కొలత అని అంటారు. Right. In other words, measuring helps us to determine the exact size. Exact size we can find with the measurement. Amount or degree of something. Amount of, quantity. Amount of liquid, amount of milk, whatsoever. Using a standard units of measurements. Okay. Need for measurement. What is the necessity of measurement? In ancient times, people did not have measuring tape to measure length. In order to measure length, people they won't have measuring tapes. Okay, so they used their body parts to measure the length of an object. These are non-standard units. Why these are non-standard units? One person body will be long and one other person body will be short. Okay, so there it lies the difference. So because different people have different lengths of hand and feet. One of the oldest unit of measurement of length is cubit. What was the oldest unit of measurement of length? Cubit. You may ask this point in your examination, right? What is the oldest measurement of length? What is that? Cubit. Cubit ko mura. In Telugu, mura. They will be called as mura. Hath. Okay. Hath. So it will be around from tip of the finger to up to here elbow. So that will be cubit. A cubit is length of an arm from the tip of the fingers to the elbow. A cubit varies in measurement due to different sizes of arms of different people. Different people will have different lengths from tip of the finger to elbow. One people will have this length, in one more person will have this length, so that there varies. Okay, we cannot get the same lengths from all people. So that's the drawback of this unit. Hand span and foot span were the commonly used units for measurements. There were one more unit which is known as hands. There were two more units. Those are hand span and foot span in olden days to measure. See, what is hand span? In Telugu they say Janudu, or in Hindi Balishat. Balisht कहते हैं हिंदी में. Hand span is the distance from tip of the thumb to the tip of the little finger. From thumb to tip of the little finger of an outstretched hand. If you stretch the hand, it will be from tip of the thumb to tip of the little finger. This distance we call it as what is known as hand span. And one more is foot span. Foot span means adugu. In Telugu they will be called as adugu. In Hindi, pair ka daira. In Hindi it is called as pair ka daira. So foot span is the measurement of length by the size of the foot, our leg, okay, leg size, leg foot size. Since no one body is with the same length, we need a standard unit of length. So for this we require all the different bodies will have different lengths. For that sake, all the people they have decided and they thought that they need a standard unit of length. Measurement of length. What is length? Length is the distance from one end to other end of an object. Suppose we just consider this is to be an object. The length of this object is from this end to other end, from one end to another end. This is called length of an object. It tells us how long, tall or far apart the things are. It will tell about how long the thing is or the things. If you consider two bodies, two things from one place to another place, Delhi to Bangalore, what is the length from Delhi to Bangalore? So it will give the distance between two places. Okay, and how tall a tree, what is the length of the tree? And similarly, how far apart in the sense, two bodies are there. Suppose there are two bodies, this body and this body, this pen and the cap. How far these two things are? It will give you three different things. I mean different ideas will be given by this particular length. The standard unit of length is meter. Which is the standard unit of length? Meter. Remember friends, this is very very important. The standard units of length is meters. Small lengths are measured in centimeters and millimeters. Small lengths, how you are going to measure small lengths? Generally you are using scale in your school. In that scale you are having centimeters, and 1 centimeter is going to be divided into 10 millimeters, and distance between two small lines is called millimeter, right? Another longer length distance, lengths or distances in kilometer. In order to measure from one place to another place, one village to another village or one town to another town, we measure in kilometers. We usually use ruler. Ruler means scale, meter rod or measuring tape to measure the length of an object. In order to measure the length of an object, generally we use scale, that is called as a ruler, or measuring tape or measuring meter rod. Right. All these measuring tools have centimeters or inches marked on them. Even in your scale you will have centimeters and inches. In meter rod also you will have centimeter and inches, and even measuring tape also you will have centimeters and inches. One thing you remember, it is very important for your exam. 1 kilometer is equal to how much? 1000 meters. Similarly, 1 meter which is equal to how much? 100 centimeters, and 1 centimeter is equal to how much? 10 millimeters. A meter rod is used to measure the length of the cloth materials by cloth dealer. Who will use the meter rod? Cloth dealer will use meter rod. A measuring tape is used by tailor. Generally, tailor will have measuring tape, okay, with him. A ruler is used to measure the small lengths. Generally we use in schools, in our geometry box there will be a ruler, small scale, which is about 15 centimeters, and then we are going to use one more scale, 30 centimeters, long scale, right? Using a measuring tape. Using measuring tape, how you are going to measure? A measuring tape is a flexible scale used to measure the length of an object. The tape is a flexible, we can fold it, we can round it, we can twist it, okay, but normal scale, that which we are going to use in our school, cannot be flexible. It is not flexible. You cannot twist it, right? It will break. But this measuring tape is flexible. It is marked with numbers representing inches and or centimeters. Inches and centimeters both will be there in your tape, measuring tape. In the similar manner, scale is used to measure the lengths. In order to measure lengths, we use what is known as scale. Bye. We meet in the next class.